Hidden deep in Egypt's desert stands the Black Pyramid of Amenemhat III, a crumbling monument the ancient builders warned should never be disturbed. When archaeologists finally broke through its sealed chambers, they expected a simple royal tomb. But instead, they uncovered collapsed passageways, melted stones, and something no one could explain buried beneath the central vault. What they found inside would rewrite everything we thought we knew about Egypt's most cursed pyramid.
It was meant to be eternal. But when explorers first descended into its labyrinthine chambers, they realized something was terribly wrong. The walls bowed inward, the ceilings had collapsed, the floors had sunk into the sand. The pyramid wasn't just deteriorating, it was dying. Yet, buried deep within the ruin, archaeologists uncovered something that froze them in place, something that shouldn't have survived at all. To understand why this discovery was so shocking, we have to step back nearly 4,000 years to the reign of Pharaoh Amenemhat III, the last great ruler of Egypt's 12th dynasty. His time was one of prosperity and innovation. The Nile's floods were carefully managed through massive irrigation systems, and colossal temples were raised from the desert floor. But Amenemhat wanted more than greatness. He wanted immortality. The king ordered the construction of a new pyramid at Dahshur, the sacred necropolis south of Cairo. It was to rival even the monuments of the Old Kingdom. But unlike his predecessors, Amenemhat chose an experimental design. Instead of solid limestone, his builders used mud brick encased in stone. Faster, cheaper, and, they believed, just as strong. Yet beneath that decision lay the seed of disaster. From the outside, the Black Pyramid rose 75 meters high, gleaming once in polished white casing stone that reflected the sun. But inside, its corridors twisted like veins, confusing, tight, and deceptive. It was designed to protect the pharaoh's remains from tomb robbers, but the pharaoh's own ambition would become his greatest enemy. Almost as soon as construction began, engineers realized the ground beneath the pyramid was unstable. The heavy structure began to sink into the soft Nile clay. Cracks appeared. Chambers buckled. They tried to reinforce it with cedar beams imported from Lebanon. Precious wood transported hundreds of miles for this one purpose. But the weight was too great. The pyramid itself was betraying its king. By the time Amenemhat III died, the structure was failing, and yet he was still buried within it, or so many believed. But when archaeologists first entered the burial chamber centuries later, they found something unexpected. The sarcophagus, massive, red quartzite and sealed, was empty. No mummy, no royal treasure, just dust and the faint scent of decay. But then came the twist that stunned even the experts. Hidden behind false walls and beneath collapsed debris, they uncovered not one, but multiple burial chambers. Some belonged to royal women, possibly the king's daughters or wives, but others defied identification entirely. Inside one chamber, archaeologists discovered the remains of a woman buried with royal jewelry, including a delicate crown inlaid with turquoise and gold. Yet there were no inscriptions, no cartouche, no name. Was she a queen, a princess, or someone else entirely? Another chamber contained the remnants of a canopic chest, still holding traces of resin and linen, the last whispers of a mummified body once protected within. These discoveries raised a haunting question. Was Amenemhat ever buried here at all? Recent research suggests the answer might be no. Archaeologists now believe that, as the structure began collapsing during construction, the king abandoned it and ordered a second pyramid, his true resting place, at Hawara, miles away. The Black Pyramid became a tomb of ghosts, a royal necropolis for women of the court, left to crumble into the sand while the king sought safety elsewhere. Yet the mystery didn't end there. In 2012, a team using ground-penetrating radar beneath the pyramid made a chilling discovery: sealed chambers that had never been opened. These voids, located beneath layers of debris and collapsed corridors, appeared untouched since antiquity. What lies inside remains a matter of fierce debate. Some believe they may contain the lost burial goods of Amenemhat III himself, or perhaps even a cache of documents revealing Middle Kingdom engineering secrets. Others warn that excavation could cause the entire pyramid to collapse once more. The site today is eerie, a black mound rising from the desert, surrounded by shallow lakes and the calls of desert birds. Its crumbling corridors remain off-limits to visitors, too dangerous to explore. Yet every year, new technologies, infrared scans, 3D mapping, and micro-robotic probes bring us closer to uncovering what still sleeps inside. And there's something else, something archaeologists almost missed. In 2021, a reanalysis of fragments found decades ago revealed a stunning fact. Some of the mud bricks used in the Black Pyramid contain straw from the same Nile Delta region used in later New Kingdom constructions, centuries apart. This suggests that ancient builders may have recycled materials from the Black Pyramid long after its collapse, perhaps even for temples built under Ramesses II. The failed tomb of one pharaoh became the building blocks for another's legacy. So what then is the true legacy of the Black Pyramid? It is a story of ambition and hubris, of a civilization pushing the limits of engineering long before modern science. It is the tale of a pharaoh who dared to challenge the gods of stone and time, and nearly lost both his pyramid and his immortality in the process. As the desert winds whistle through its hollow passages, one can almost hear the echoes of those who built it. Thousands of laborers, engineers, and priests who believed they were constructing eternity. Instead, they built a monument that defied eternity itself. And yet, for all its failure, the Black Pyramid endures. Not as a triumph of architecture, but as a haunting reminder that even the greatest empires can crumble from within. Somewhere beneath that blackened ruin, sealed behind walls that have not seen the light of day in 4 millennia, something still waits. Perhaps the last untold chapter of Egypt's Middle Kingdom. And when that final chamber is opened, what they find inside may once again change everything we thought we knew about the pharaohs who tried to outlast time itself. What archaeologists uncovered inside the Black Pyramid was beyond anything they expected, but Egypt's greatest secret may still lie hidden. Deep within another ancient pyramid, a sealed chamber untouched for thousands of years has finally been unlocked. Join me as we uncover what waited in the darkness all this time.
The Great Pyramid, mostly that's the one that's been studied. We actually haven't done a whole lot of studying on the other pyramids. It's something that's severely lacking. In fact, we've not even cleared off the bases of some of the other pyramids up at Giza. It's crazy.
So you can understand why people start to question the historical narrative.
The reality of them is probably stranger and more interesting than anything people can think up in terms of fiction.
For centuries, we've believed that the ancient Egyptians were the masterminds behind this architectural marvel. But what if they weren't? What if instead, they simply moved into these colossal structures? Join us as we explore groundbreaking theories, unravel new discoveries, and challenge everything we thought we knew about one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world.
I'm willing to accept that the Great Pyramid was largely completed by the ancient Egyptians.
The Great Pyramid of Giza, built during the 4th dynasty of Egypt for Pharaoh Khufu around 2580 to 2560 BC, has long captured the imagination of people worldwide. The discovery of its entrance and the subsequent exploration of its interior chambers have significantly deepened our understanding of ancient Egyptian architecture and burial practices. For centuries, the entrance to this monumental structure was a mystery. Originally, the pyramid was encased in smooth Tura limestone, which concealed any openings. By the time explorers began their quest, most of this casing had been stripped away, revealing the underlying structure.
The Great Pyramid was sealed. It was a sealed monument.
The first recorded discovery of the entrance dates back to 820 AD when the Caliph al-Mamun ordered an expedition to uncover the pyramid's secrets.
The Caliph al-Mamun, who was running Egypt at the time, wanted to get inside the Great Pyramid.
His workers supposedly found the hidden entrance after hearing a stone fall within the pyramid. They located the entrance about 17 meters above the ground on the northern face, slightly to the east of the central axis. This discovery led them to a descending passageway. From the entrance, the descending passageway measures about 1.2 meters high and 3.5 wide, sloping downwards at an angle of approximately 26 degrees.
Is there not a hidden chamber as well?
In fact, there is a whole underworld at Giza. This is beginning to be recognized.
This passage extends for about 105 meters into the pyramid, eventually reaching the subterranean chamber, also known as the pit. This chamber lies beneath the pyramid, carved into the bedrock, and is unfinished, roughly hewn, and not fully smoothed out like other parts of the pyramid. Measuring approximately 27 by 14 meters and about 8.6 meters high at its highest point, the chamber's purpose remains unclear.
We actually don't know what these chambers were for. No burial of any pharaoh was ever found inside the Great Pyramid.
Some theories suggest it was an early attempt at a burial chamber or simply an unfinished part of the construction. Halfway along the descending passageway, an ascending passageway branches off upwards. Similar in dimensions to the descending passageway, it extends for about 39 meters before reaching the Grand Gallery. The entrance to the ascending passageway was originally concealed by a stone block, adding an extra level of security. The Grand Gallery is one of the pyramid's most impressive features. It is a steeply inclined corridor, measuring about 46.6 meters in length, 8.6 meters in height, and 2.1 meters in width at the base, narrowing slightly towards the top. The walls of the Grand Gallery are lined with precisely cut stones, and the ceiling consists of corbelled stone blocks, creating a vaulted appearance. The floor has a series of slots, possibly for the placement of beams or to aid in the transportation of heavy objects. Approximately halfway along the Grand Gallery, a horizontal passageway leads to the so-called Queen's Chamber. This chamber is smaller than the King's Chamber, measuring about 5 3/4 meters by 5 1/4 meters, with a height of 6 1/4 meters. The walls are smooth and the ceiling is pointed, forming a gabled roof. The exact purpose of the Queen's Chamber is still debated. It might have been intended as a secondary burial chamber or a symbolic chamber for the pharaoh's spirit. Continuing up the Grand Gallery, a horizontal passage leads to the King's Chamber, the most important room in the pyramid. The King's Chamber is rectangular, measuring about 1.5 by 5.2 meters, and has a flat roof composed of massive granite beams. The chamber's walls are also lined with granite, and the floor consists of large granite blocks. Inside the King's Chamber is a large granite sarcophagus, believed to have held Khufu's body. The sarcophagus is too large to have been brought in through the existing passages, indicating it was placed during the construction of the pyramid. Above the King's Chamber are 5 relieving chambers, designed to distribute the weight of the pyramid and prevent the roof of the King's Chamber from collapsing. These chambers are separated by large horizontal slabs of granite, each layer relieving some of the weight above. In recent times, advanced technologies like ground-penetrating radar and Moon tomography have been employed to explore the pyramid further. These methods have led to the discovery of previously unknown voids and chambers, such as the Scan Pyramid's Big Void, a large empty space above the Grand Gallery discovered in 2017. The purpose of this void remains a mystery and continues to be a topic of ongoing research and speculation. The area surrounding the Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as Khufu's Pyramid, has been a treasure trove of archaeological discoveries.
I think there's a lot more remains to be discovered under the Giza Plateau.
Yeah.
These finds offer remarkable insights into ancient Egyptian civilization, their burial practices, religious beliefs, and daily life. One of the most intriguing discoveries is the solar boat pits. Unearthed in 1954 by Egyptian archaeologist Kamal El-Malakh, these pits contain 2 intact boats buried near the Great Pyramid, positioned on the southern side. Known as solar barks, these boats were believed to serve a dual purpose. They were intended for Khufu's journey with the sun god Ra across the sky during the day and through the underworld at night. Another theory suggests they might have been used in the funerary procession of the pharaoh. The boats are made of Lebanese cedar wood, meticulously assembled without nails. The larger boat measures about 43.6 meters in length and features a sophisticated design with a cabin, oars, and rope bindings, using a technique known as mortise and tenon. The first boat was painstakingly reconstructed over 14 years by Egyptian conservator Ahmed Youssef Mustafa and is now displayed in the Khufu Boat Museum beside the Great Pyramid. The second boat remains in situ, awaiting advanced preservation techniques. In the early 1990s, Egyptian archaeologist Zahi Hawass and his team made a groundbreaking discovery southeast of the Great Pyramid: the tombs of the workers who built the pyramids. The tombs provided evidence that the builders were paid laborers who worked in 3-month rotating shifts, reflecting the societal structure and economy of the Old Kingdom. The tombs contained skeletal remains showing signs of healed injuries, indicating that workers had access to medical care. Pottery shards, tools, and remnants of food supplies such as bread and beer were also found, shedding light on their diet and daily life. The presence of beef and fish bones suggests that the workers received good nutrition. The tombs were simple, yet carefully constructed from mud brick and limestone, indicating a level of respect for the workers. Some tombs had hieroglyphic inscriptions and modest grave goods, signifying the workers' social status and the reverence afforded to them. Another significant discovery was made in 1925 by American archaeologist George Reisner when he uncovered the mastaba of Queen Hetepheres I, the mother of Khufu, in the Giza necropolis. Located to the northeast of the Great Pyramid, the tomb was initially hidden under debris. The tomb contained a large cache of funerary equipment, including a golden throne, a gilded bed with a canopy, chairs, a palanquin, and various personal items such as jewelry and cosmetic boxes. The craftsmanship of these items highlights the luxurious lifestyle of the royal family and the high level of artisanship of the period. Interestingly, Hetepheres' body was never found, leading to theories that her mummy might have been relocated or never placed in the tomb. Some suggest the burial equipment might have been prepared in anticipation of her death, but used for another purpose. The remains of Khufu's pyramid temple have been uncovered through various excavations conducted over the years, with significant contributions from archaeologists such as Mark Lehner and Zahi Hawass. The pyramid temple was a site for offerings and rituals to honor the deceased pharaoh Khufu. It played a central role in the funerary cult, where daily rituals and ceremonies ensured the pharaoh's immortality. The temple's remains include large limestone blocks, column bases, and fragments of statues and altars. The temple layout typically featured a courtyard, a hypostyle hall, and sanctuaries. The temple was connected to the pyramid by a causeway, which was used for processional purposes. Various small artifacts, including inscribed blocks, offering tables, and fragments of statues have been found. These artifacts shed light on the religious practices of the time, the artistic styles, and the materials used. Notably, fragments of a life-size statue of Khufu have been uncovered, providing insights into the pharaoh's appearance and royal iconography. The tomb of Khentkaus-Thratrat, discovered by archaeologists in the early 20th century, is also referred to as the Fourth Pyramid due to its unique design. Located to the southeast of the Great Pyramid, within the Giza necropolis, the tomb features a unique design that combines elements of both a pyramid and a mastaba. It includes a stepped pyramid base with a superstructure that might have been intended as a pyramid but was left unfinished.